From bringing back our favorite adamantium-filled anti-hero to potentially put an end to the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Here's Deadpool 3, the ultimate Marvel crossover explained. Ryan Reynolds literally put his blood, sweat, and tears into making another movie. It's finally coming, and we're all super proud of him as well as being super excited about the film. Because trust me when I say this one's gonna rock your socks off. I mean, he even brought Wolverine out of retirement. With Deadpool 3, Reynolds will continue to play Wade Wilson and has happily announced that the character's now canon in the MCU. Sure, his experience in X-Men Origins Wolverine totally sucked, but it only motivated him to do the Merc with a Mouth justice on the big screen. The 2016 relaunch of the Marvel character proved how famous he is, and Deadpool 3's set to come out on November 8th, 2024. Plus, Hugh Jackman will also come back to play Wolverine again after 2017's Logan, so fans can expect to see the two working together, or maybe even against each other in the film. Just because of this, it's already one of the most awaited movies in the MCU. With Jackman's return and other returning Marvel movie characters, Deadpool's now set to be a part of the multiverse saga in the MCU, which means he can bring in some X-Men friends with him too. Exciting, right? I'll get into that in a minute. First, let's just be grateful for the fact that even though Disney owns the rights to Deadpool now, the movie will still be rated R, and it might just have the best cast since 2021's Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, we already know these two big superheroes will be making a comeback. But did you know that our favorite brooding hero, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, will be making a return, played by Brianna Hildebrand, as well as Stefan Kapicic as Colossus and Leslie Uggams as Blind Owl. I've also been able to find out that Emma Corrin will be playing the bad guy in the film. But maybe the most interesting thing about the cast that's been confirmed, thanks to the iconic first trailer, is that Jennifer Garner is coming back as Elektra after almost 20 years. We first saw her as the Amazing Warrior back in 2003 in Ben Affleck's movie Daredevil. She scored her own spin-off film in 2005 because she was seriously badass. And now that she's coming back, this can mean so many things. So, from what we know so far, is that Wade will mess with the multiverse, which is probably how Wolverine and Elektra will make an appearance. Due to the large cast, she probably won't be a big part of the story, but she'll be one of the people Deadpool meets in other dimensions. Not only would it make for an amazing showdown between these two, but her return also makes it pretty likely that Ben Affleck might play Matt Murdock once again. Since Deadpool 3 takes place in the same world as Daredevil and Elektra, fans can finally find out what's been going on since we last saw them in the early 2000s. Since Marvel Studios is making such an effort to look at the early Fox movies, it could be possible that the OG Fantastic Four team, with Chris Evans as Johnny, Jessica Alba as Susan, and Johan Gruffud as Mr. Fantastic, might make a reappearance. At this point, it'd make sense for Deadpool 3 to be the last of the Fox Marvel movies before Wade's added to the MCU for good. Deadpool's humor, which breaks the fourth wall, would make it fun to talk about how confusing Fox's first X-Men and Fantastic Four movies were. Speaking of the X-Men, Wolverine isn't the only one who's coming back to the MCU. And it's not speculation either, it's based on something the director said. Tim Miller has said that there'll be face-melting shocks, which supports the idea that the X-Men may show up. Even though it was considered impossible before, Deadpool 3 will bring the anti-hero and his R-rated pranks into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There's a well-thought-out plan for the future of the Merc with a Mouth, even though his many F-bombs and bloody humor isn't anything we've even seen Disney do before. Also, another interesting little fact for you. Rob Liefeld is a co-creator of Deadpool along with Fabian Nicieza, so it's very interesting to see how excited he's about the project. What's interesting about this? Well, the fact that he said the movie will blow people's minds. You know, like Professor X does. And he was specifically talking about the casting list that he saw. He even acknowledged that some legacy X-Men characters might show up in the film too. Since there was no Deadpool or no Fox anything, the timing for this movie and this particular storyline couldn't be any better. Plus, the only thing that limits us is our imagination because in the comics, Deadpool even hangs out with Spider-Man, so the web-slinger or web-slinger might make an appearance too. The two have had some iconic and hilarious comic scenes together, and as Holland's last movie proved that the multiverse can unite franchises, it might just make fans go crazy to see him in Deadpool 3. Just think of the meme material. Deadpool 3 is the most likely place for the X-Men to make their debut in the MCU, since they've already set the stage for mutants. This would also explain why the news of Logan's return was leaked instead of keeping it a secret, since it's likely just the tip of a much bigger iceberg. This idea is backed up by hints made by superhero movie actors, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart, about the return of Professor X and Magneto. With all that information, I don't think I'm really ready for this, especially since the movie will probably be based on one of the darkest storylines in Marvel. Well, there's this theory out there that Wade will destroy everyone in the MCU. We already saw Professor X make a comeback in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and that was just the time of the iceberg. An obvious way to speed things up would be to add more mutants, both new and old, and have a lot of other Marvel characters show up. This deadly storyline is the ultimate nuclear option cause. Marvel can mix the original X-Men and MCU in any way they want, so you must want to know what the storyline's about. Hold on to your guns, my dudes. You're in for a wild ride. The comic book, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, is a limited edition that came out in 2012, and it definitely lives up to its title. Deadpool blasts, slashes, and generally murks his way through a version of the multiverse that we all love. The action starts when Earth 12101's Deadpool is sent to a superhero therapist who turns out to be a new version of the Psycho Man, a bad guy from the Fantastic Four. But since Deadpool is Deadpool, things go wrong when Wade sees that his whole world is made up, breaking the fourth wall even more than usual. He decides to fix that. He starts by getting rid of Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. Then he kills Uatu the Watcher, and from there, he steals Pym's particles and uses them to destroy the Avengers Mansion. He also kills Thor by making Mjolnir too big for him. Due to Deadpool's killing spree, the families of the heroes he murders hire Taskmaster to find and stop him. And this is where Wolverine might come into play, following Deadpool across the multiverse to stop him. Fans are sure to be excited by the news that his fight with Deadpool in Deadpool kills. The Marvel Universe is very violent and happens right after Wade has killed all the other X-Men. Deadpool kills the X-Men, then he kills Doctor Strange and Wong so he can use their magical items to travel through space and time and kill every cosmic being in the Marvel world, including Galactus, the Silver Surfer, and even Thanos. Taskmaster, or maybe Wolverine, follows him to the nexus of all realities, the heart of the Marvel multiverse. There they fight the Man-Thing, the guardian of the Nexus. In theory, it shouldn't be hard to make this storyline work for the MCU. Reynolds' Deadpool, on his way to the MCU, kills his way through an alternate Marvel universe, while being chased by Wolverine. But again, this is just a theory, the perfect theory, but you can never know what Marvel has up its sleeves. So, there you have it, Marvel fans! From potentially putting an end to the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, to bringing back our favorite adamantium-filled anti-hero, that's Deadpool 3, the ultimate Marvel crossover explained.